What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to the show, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Members get exclusive content like they did yesterday. This is part two of a gangster gets caught stealing and gets hit. So YC, he gets the door hit. He comes in a cell. The big fella, he draws down on him once again and tells YC, essentially, he has to get up out the cell because the big fella feels like it makes no sense to allow someone to stay in a cell that he just attacked with a weapon. He has to now close his eyes around this guy, and when you're asleep, you're unconscious. Your defenses are down. In fact, you have no defense. And once you attack someone with a weapon, you're no longer friends, you're now enemies. So YC had a chance to retaliate. He could have stopped by one of his comrades' cell, retrieved a weapon, and came back in the cell and attacked the big fella. The big fella's not running from him. The big fella's not scared of him. The big fella telling him he has to leave the cell because he's not about to go to sleep around him. But he's right there with him at that moment. And YC has a chance to respond. But he did not. Predictably, he left the cell. And a couple days later, the police bum rushed the big fella's cell. Take him and his cellies out. They searched the cell thoroughly. They didn't find the weapon. The big fella had already got rid of it. There's a lot of snitches in the Los Angeles County Jail, as there are a lot of snitches everywhere these days. Doesn't mean someone told in this situation, because YC went down there to medical, talking about he fell off the bunk. The nurse said these were puncture wounds. They alerted the police. That could be the reason that they ran in the cell. They questioned the big fella's cellies, asked them had they witnessed an attack transpire at the cell the day or 2 days prior. They said no. They questioned the big fella. He said he didn't know anything. They took him to the hole and then to high power anyway for 60 days. The big fella. And when he got out of high power, well, he was confronted by a few gangsters who wanted to know could he have handled that situation differently. And he explained to them that he's a stickler for the rules, that YC had transgressed against the rules and it was personal because he's supposed to be the big fella's little homie, but instead he chose to steal from him. So the big fella did what he had to do, and that was that. YC, meanwhile, got out for that case that he was trying to bail out on, and then he returned. He came back to the county jail once again, this time with some dude named Flirt from 9 Deuce Hoover and somebody else. It was 3 of them on the case for an unaliving. And they started telling on each other. I know that Flirt got on the stand. He's PC now. I don't know if YC got on the stand, but he started telling. He's a snitch now. He's a rat. He's PC. They still got life in prison, Flirt and YC, which is ridiculous, which is why most snitches shouldn't be snitching, or all snitches shouldn't be snitching, but most of them end up getting life or whatever anyway. You still get life in prison. So what you snitching for? But they ended up telling on each other, and they got life. YC has life somewhere now. And that's what happened with the big fella and YC. And in fact, even when the big fella went to prison, he had to confront someone from YC's part of town that supposedly had an issue with the way the big fella had handled that. Once again, the big fella explained to him, that's what happened. And he had no regrets and would do the same thing again. And he's not about to answer any more questions about it from anyone. Anyone has a problem with it, then it's time to just deal with it. And that was the end of it. And the big fella went on and did his time peacefully as far as that's concerned. But the county jail is very violent, very riotous, very unhealthy, and very unsafe. A lot of thieves down there, a lot of snitching, and a lot of drugs. Again, I'm going to do a series on the Los Angeles County Jail. It is worth a series. 4800, 4700, the old Crip module. People were being unalived. Guards were being unalived. Guards were unaliving people, beating people badly, daily in the Los Angeles County Jail. They all eventually got in trouble for it, but it went on for years upon years upon years. And the gangs were at each other's throats in the Los Angeles County Jail, just even when I was down there the last time, in 2015, 16, 14, and 13. But in the 80s and 90s, it was even more vicious, and the gang activity was at an apex. But there's not much difference now. The gang activity is raw in the county jail, and it's dangerous and it's vicious. And I'm going to get into it. I'm going to do a series about the Los Angeles County Jail coming up soon. Next up is Big Bubba Part 4. I was only going to do Part 4 for the members, but I figured it wouldn't be fair to just give it to the members since I had already given the video to everyone. Part 4 is a follow-up to Part 3, where the guy who was attacked that I grew up with, well, he found one of these big bubbas on the street, and all hell broke loose. Part 4 to Big Bubba, it's upon us. By now, you all know what Big Bubba is. So when you see the thumbnail that says Big Bubba, if you don't like it, you don't want to hear these solicit, salacious, gory stories, then don't click on the video. Don't watch the video and then comment to me later. What you watching it for? You freak. You know what is you know who Big Bubba is by now. So when you see Big Bubba, don't watch it. Don't watch it, enjoy it, and then say something about it. I don't want to hear it. Big Bubba 4. It's coming up. Stay tuned, people, and stay free. Stay healthy.